What's up, guys? My name is TechnoTuner, and today I'm bringing to you guys my Radiant Typhoon deck build. This deck has been a lot of fun to play. You get to establish a lot more control with the MST or Mystical Space Typhoon than you used to in past, and it also turns Mystical Space Typhoon into a negate. I'm glad they were able to actually make Mystical Space Typhoon into an actual archetype, as this deck does make it to where you can summon out wing beasts or wind monsters to further your board and establish either a monster negate, adding to, playing quick play spells, searching them, or special summoning from the deck. There's a lot of capability that this deck has. It's been a meta contender for a little while now, and it is still so much fun to play. Even though that the deck is more control and mid-range based, it gives you that ebb and flow to where you can still play with the deck at a higher level than what most would think, but it also gives you that capability to have back and forth interaction with your opponent. It's one of those decks that I would recommend picking up if you have the cards available. Crocias, unfortunately, are at $40 a piece, so if they are not within your budget range, I do not suggest picking this up. There are other decks in which you can work a small Radiant Typhoon deck core into. For example, Yummy, or you can do it with Fiendsmith. There's a lot of capabilities in which you can merge and mix and match decks with this deck to give you that higher level, but also give you the capability of free playing with it as well. Like I said, this deck is more for the pure aspect of it. If you're looking for something like a Fiendsmith or Yummy variant, please feel free to let me know and I can make that video. But anyways, guys, let's hop right on in to our main deck. So, starting off with our main deck, of course, we're playing the 3 Radiant Typhoon Crocea. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while your opponent controls no spells or traps. You can only use each of the following effects of Radiant Typhoon Crocea once per turn. If a quick play spell is activated except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is no more special summon, you can add 1 Radiant Typhoon card except Radiant Typhoon Crocea and or 1 Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck and or graveyard to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except wind monsters. So usually when you go into Crocea, it is literally wind locking you, but you get the capability of searching for 2 cards that can help you out, which would be a MST and a Radiant Typhoon card, which can help. It also helps with the graveyard recursion from using your Mystical Space Typhoons to get back to your hand. Up next, of course, we are playing 3 Radiant Typhoon Swen. If you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard or your opponent controls no spells and traps, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Radiant Typhoon Swen once per turn this way. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Radiant Typhoon spell or trap, or 1 Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Radiant Typhoon Swen once per turn. So, giving you the capability of searching a Radiant Typhoon spell can be very helpful, but also the capability of being able to special summon it, since your opponent won't control any spells or traps if you're going first, helps out greatly as an extender. Next up, of course, we're playing 3 Radiant Typhoon Eldum. Eldum is our monster searcher, basically. If you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard, or your opponent controls no spells and traps, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Radiant Typhoon Eldum once per turn this way. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Radiant Typhoon monster except Radiant Typhoon Eldum, or 1 Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Radiant Typhoon Eldum once per turn. So, once again, the same summoning conditions as Radiant Typhoon Swen, but it gives you the full capability of searching a monster that you may need to continue your play. For the non-Radiant Typhoon cards, before we hop right into the one-ofs, I am playing 2 Sheena Twin Tempest of the Celestial Thunder. 3 gives you a bit more bricky because it's a bit more back and forth, but this card is really good because the first time this card would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. When your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a wind monster, quick effect. You can special summon this card from your hand, then apply the following effects based on what was activated. Monster, return all face-up monsters on the field to the hand except Sheena Twin Tempest of Celestial Thunder. Spell and trap, return all spells and traps on the field to the hand. You can only use this effect of Sheena Twin Tempest of Celestial Thunder once per turn. So basically, it's a good interaction in case your opponent really wants to interact with your monsters, so you can respond back with Sheena to either bounce their spells and traps or their monsters, which can help out greatly, especially if you're trying to further establish a board presence. As for the one-ofs, for the Radiant Typhoon cards, we're playing 1 Radiant Typhoon Megala. If you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard, or your opponent controls no spells or traps, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Radiant Typhoon Megala once per turn this way. If a Radiant Typhoon Quick Play spell card or Mystical Space Typhoon is activated, except during damage step, you can special summon 1 Radiant Typhoon monster from your deck with a different name than the monsters you control. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn, except wind monsters. You can only use this effect of Radiant Typhoon Megala once per turn. This is a great way to get a monster out onto the board if you're looking to further extend. Next up, we're playing 1 Radiant Typhoon Varun the Vibrant Vortex. If a quick play spell is activated, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. When your opponent activates a monster effect, and you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard, quick effect. You can negate that effect, and if you have 2 or more Mystical Space Typhoons in your graveyard, you can destroy that monster. If Mystical Space Typhoon is activated while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Radiant Typhoon Varun, the Vibrant Vortex, once per turn. So, this really does give us the monster negate and protection if we overextend, but it also gives us an interaction during our opponent's turn as well. Next up, we have Radiant Typhoon Phonk, the Great Flame. If a quick play spell is activated, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If a quick play spell is activated, except during the damage step, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls. Shuffle them into the deck. If Mystical Space Typhoon is activated while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Radiant Typhoon Phonk, the Great Flame, once per turn. So, basically being able to bounce 2 cards back into your opponent's deck can hurt them greatly, especially if you pair it with the MST negate effect of the actual continuous trap, which can further help you break boards. Then finally, for the last one of monster that I'm playing 1 Noble Knight Shield Bearer. If this card is no more special summon, you can banish 1 light monster from your graveyard, draw 1 card. You can banish this card from your hand or field, add 1 level 6 or lower wind beast monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use 1 Noble Knight Shield Bearer effect per turn, and only once that turn. This card is insanely good because basically you're able to banish it from hand to search anything that is a level 6 or lower wind beast monster, which can further help you out by getting you into Eldom. Being able to go into Eldom can help further your plays by being able to search any of the other monsters that you need. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and hop right in to our spells and traps. So, starting out with our spells and traps, of course, we're playing the main piece of the deck, which is Mystical Space Typhoon. We're playing 3 of those. Target 1 spell and trap on the field and destroy that target. So, this is going to be one of the main cards that we're going to need in our hand, let alone searching, because it's going to enable us to do a lot of effects. Next up, we're playing 3 Radiant Typhoon Chant. If this card is destroyed by an effect of Mystical Space Typhoon, you can just set this card. Note that is not a once per turn effect, nor included in the once per turn effect. So this can be reset multiple times, as long as you destroy it with Mystical Space Typhoon. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of Radiant Typhoon Chant once per turn. Add 1 level 4 or lower Radiant Typhoon monster from your deck to your hand. Add 1 Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So this gives us the capability of searching another monster, but if we chain MST to it, we can reset it as we've activated the effect. So basically, activate Radiant Typhoon Chant, chain 1 link 1, MST chain link 2. So Chant is then destroyed, but once it finishes on resolution, it'll reset back to our back row for us to use for next turn. Next up, of course, we're playing 3 Radiant Typhoon Visions. If this card is destroyed by the effect of Mystical Space Typhoon, you can set this card. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of Radiant Typhoon Vision once per turn. Draw 2 cards. Then, if you have a Radiant Typhoon card or a quick play spell in your hand, discard one of them, or your entire hand if you don't. Add 1 Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So, once again, same thing about the destruction effect. If you chain MST to it, You can reset this back to your back row, as it is not a once per turn effect. If the card is destroyed by the effect of Mystical Space Typhoon, you can set this card. So that is not once per turn. The only once per turn effects are the draw 2 and add a Mystical Space Typhoon. So just do note that when you're going through and playing. But this is a really good draw engine for our actual deck. Next up, for the one-of spells that are the Radiant Typhoon cards, we're playing one Radiant Typhoon Manifestation. If this card is destroyed by the effect of Mystical Space Typhoon, you can set this card. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of Radiant Typhoon Manifestation once per turn. Send one Radiant Typhoon monster from your deck to the graveyard, or add one Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So, giving the capability, you can pop and destroy this with Mystical Space Typhoon to reset it as well. You do have the capability of a Foolish Burial online. It helps out greatly when trying to get Varun into the graveyard or another monster that you want as well. The other one that we're playing is one Radiant Typhoon Ascendance. If this card is destroyed by the effect of Mystical Space Typhoon, you can set this card. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of Radiant Typhoon Ascendance once per turn. Special summon level 6 or lower Radiant Typhoon monster from your graveyard. Add one Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Once again, giving you the full capability of getting revives back online, but being able to reset it if you pop it with Mystical Space Typhoon, which can help out greatly. As for other spells, of course, I am playing 3 Shared Ride. It is a quick play spell, and it doesn't feel as bad instead of running the Mulcharmies. For the rest of this turn, each time a card is added from the main deck or graveyard to your opponent's hand, except by drawing them, immediately draw one card. You can only activate one Shared Ride per turn. So basically being able to discard it for a Radiant Typhoon Vision, or being able to get the effect off can help us greatly, because it does allow us to get extra card draw in if we need it. Next up, of course, I'm playing 3 Super Polymerization. Discard one card, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from either field. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Being able to fuse away your opponent's board can help out greatly. It being a quick play spell is another benefit because we can send it off of Radiant Typhoon Vision as a cost if we need to. Basically, if our Super Polymerization cannot be used, we can save it for next turn, or we can utilize it as a capability for Radiant Typhoon Vision to discard so we can still keep our hand. Next up, we're playing 3 Forbidden Droplet. Send any number of other cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard. Choose that many effect monsters your opponent controls until the end of this turn. Their attack is halved, also their effects are negated. In response to this card's activation, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects with the same original type, monster spells or traps, as the cards sent to the graveyard to activate this card. You can only activate one Forbidden Droplet per turn. So basically, it's just a quick effect negation, which can further help you break boards, but also does help you get around targeted disruptions as well. Then finally, for the last one of spell, we're playing 1 Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. And if you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects of and effects on the field of monsters with that same original name. So this can help us further lock out our opponent from really activating any effects that we don't want them to use, such as Ash Blossom, or Effect Veiler. The other capabilities are like Ghost Bell, etc. So this can further help us break boards as well. As for the traps, though, I'm going to clean this up a little bit here. As for the traps, of course, we're playing 1 Radiant Typhoon Mandate. This is the trap card that turns your Mystical Space Typhoon into a negate. Once per turn, you can target 3 quick play spells in your graveyard, including a Radiant Typhoon card. Apply the following effects in sequence. Shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1 card. All wind monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense this turn. Once per chain, when a Mystical Space Typhoon is activated. Once per chain, when a Mystical Space Typhoon is activated, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, negates effects. If this card is destroyed by the effect of Mystical Space Typhoon, you can set this card. The thing is, and why I reiterated the once per chain, it doesn't make it to once per turn. This is really good for the deck as it allows us to get negates online and operating pretty fast, especially with the new Link 2. Up next, of course, I'm playing 2 Dominus Purge. If your opponent controls a card, you can activate this card from your hand. When a card or effect is activated that includes the effect that adds a card or cards from the deck to the hand, negate the effect. Then if you have a trap card in your graveyard, destroy that card. If you activated this card from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of Dark, Water, and Fire monsters for the rest of this duel. You can only activate 1 Dominus Purge effect per turn. So, once again, giving us further capability of basically utilizing this card as a Ash Blossom, but also causing a bit of destruction if we need to. The other hand trap that I'm playing is 3 Infinite Impermanence. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls negates effects until the end of this turn. Then, if this card was set before activation is on the field at resolution, for the rest of this turn, all other spells and traps in this column are negated. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. Basically, we're utilizing these traps as a way to set up negation or interact with our opponent, but it's also giving us capability of playing around K9 because they're not monster effects activating in the hand. This can help us out greatly. That's all that I have for these spells and traps of the deck. Let's go ahead and move on into our extra deck. All right, moving into our extra deck. Of course, we're playing 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp. This is a super poly target, 2 monsters with the same attribute but different types. Your opponent cannot target this card or monsters on the field with the same attribute as this card, with card effects. Once per turn, quick effect, you can declare 1 attribute. This card becomes that attribute until the end of this turn. The other card that we're playing that's a super poly target is Garura, Wings of Resonant Life. 2 monsters with the same type and attribute but different names. Any battle damage your opponent takes from battles involving this card is doubled. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of Garura, Wings of Resonant Life once per turn. So, outside of our generic super poly targets, I am running a couple extras that are kind of fun to play overall. Now, this one can be cut because it's not really going to work well within the deck as we're not playing that engine. The one that I'm playing a Azamina engine for the super poly targets, given that Branded and Sword Soul is a huge thing at my locals. Azamina Muricliago, 1 illusion monster plus 1 light spellcaster monster. Monsters opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense for each Azamina monster you control. You can only use each of the following effects of Azamina Muricliago once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can add 1 Azamina or Sinful Spoils card from your deck to your hand. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add 1 Sinful Spoils spell from your deck to your hand. So, we're not really utilizing this card to its full potential. The ones that we're going to be utilizing more are going to be these, which is Azamina Il Sylvia. 1 illusion monster plus 1 light spellcaster monster. Any battle damage your Azamina monster or monsters except Azamina Il Sylvia inflicts to your opponent is doubled. You can only use each of the following effects of Azamina Il Sylvia once per turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you contribute this card, negate that effect, and if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, add 1 Sinful Spoils trap from your deck to your hand. Once again, we're not utilizing that effect. We're utilizing the effect as the negation to help us establish board. The other Azaminas that we're playing are Azamina Moa Regina, 1 illusion monster plus 1 level 6 or higher fiend monster. You can target 1 illusion monster in your graveyard except Azamina Moa Regina, special summon it. When an Azamina or Sinful Spoils card or effect is activated, except Azamina Moa Regina, quick effect, you can target up to 2 cards on the field, destroy them. You can only use each effect of Azamina Moa Regina once per turn. So, a pop 2, but a revive can help out greatly. Now, the one card that makes this entire engine pop and work is Saint Azamina. 2 level 6 or higher monsters, 1 fusion and 1 synchro. Your opponent cannot target cards in their field, graveyard, or banishment, or this card on the field with card effects. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken. If this card was fusion summoned, this turn, quick effect, you can special summon 1 level 9 or lower Azamina monster from your deck or extra deck. You can only use this effect of Saint Azamina once per turn. So this is the capability in which allows us to go into Recliago, Il Sylvia, or Moa Regina. Just off a Super Poly, if we're fusing off 2 level 6 or higher, which are a level 6 and a level 6 synchro and a level 6 or higher synchro. The other card that we're playing on top of this is Azamina. Must be either fusion summon or special summon from your extra deck by attributing one Saint Azamina you control and one face-up monster your opponent controls. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. Each time your opponent activates a card or effect, all monsters they control lose 500 attack. When it resolves, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with 0 attack. So this can help basically be a skill drain on the board, but a 4K attack and 4K defender monster alone is a bigger problem that a lot of decks can't really out. As for our Xyz play, of course I'm playing a very small one, which is the 1 Totem Bird. A lot of people wonder what Totem Bird does, as it's not really been seen that often. It's 2 level 3 wind monsters. During either player's turn, when a spell or trap card is activated, you can detach 2 materials from this card and negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. This card loses 300 attack while it has no Xyz material. That's fine. We're basically using it as protection to basically negate spells and trap cards and keep our cards on the field safe. As for the remainder of the extra deck, I am playing a decent link package. For this, I am playing 2 Radiant Typhoon Varun, the Marine Eidolon. 2 Radiant Typhoon monsters. If this card is link summoned, you can add 1 Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including 1 Radiant Typhoon monster you control. Place them face-up in their owner's spell and trap zones as continuous spells. If a quick play spell card is activated except during damage step, you can place 1 Radiant Typhoon continuous trap from your deck or graveyard face-up on your field. You can only use each effect of Radiant Typhoon Varun, the Marine Eidolon, once per turn. So, giving you that free board capability to reset your continuous trap and set it face up can help out greatly. The other capability of adding an MST from your deck or graveyard to your hand and being able to place 2 monsters in the spell and trap zone, one on your side and one on your opponent's side, can help break boards pretty easily. Up next, of course, we're playing the 1 Wind Charmer Verdant. 2 monsters, including a wind monster. This card is always treated as a familiar possessed card. You can target 1 wind monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your zone this card points to. If this link summon card is destroyed by battle or is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while it's in its owner's monster zone, you can add 1 wind monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Wind Charmer Verdant once per turn. Basically, this is for the mirror match, or if your opponent activates Mulcharmies, as they are wind monsters for Follows. This gives us capability of really just getting a monster on the board and further extending our plays. The other Link 2s that I'm playing are 1 SP Little Knight. Do note you don't have to play this as well. The deck functions really well without the links, outside the Marine Eidolons. SP Little Knight, 2 effect monsters. If this card is link summoned using a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster as material, you can target 1 card on the field or in either graveyard, banish it. Also, your monsters cannot attack directly this turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including a monster you control, banish both until the end phase. You can only use each effect of SP Little Knight once per turn. So giving us a innate banish and interaction during our opponent's turn can help us out greatly. IP Masquerena is our final Link 2. 2 non-link monsters. During your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect. Immediately after this effect resolves, link summon 1 link monster using its materials, using materials you control, including this card. You can only use this effect of IP Masquerena once per turn. A link monster that used this card as material cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Basically allowing us to go up into our higher level links, such as, I'm just going to call him the Desperate Doom Eagle. I can never say his first name correctly. Gains 2400 attack while your opponent has no monsters in their graveyard. Quick effect, you can target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard, shuffled into the deck. You can only use this effect of, we're going to try it, Hasrivler, whatever. The Desperate Doom Eagle once per turn. It's 2+ wind monsters to summon him. He's a very good 2400 attack, but also could become 4800 if you need him to, if your opponent has no monsters in the graveyard, which can help out greatly. The quick effect to shuffle back a card from your opponent's graveyard that's a monster can really help you out, because if they want to activate a monster effect in the graveyard, this card can basically allow you to shuffle it back into the deck without them really being able to interact. Next up, we have 1 Access Code Talker. This is my way over Lunalight, which is 2+ effect monsters. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's activations. If this card is link summoned, you can target one link monster that was used as its link material. This card gains attack equal to that monster's link rating times 1000. You can banish one link monster from your field or graveyard, destroy one card your opponent controls. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot banish monsters with that same attribute to activate this effect of Access Code Talker. So, basically turning into a 43 or 5300 attacker to get over that Lunalight, Liger Dancer can help out greatly. Now, if you were looking to really minimize or make this deck a little cheaper, there's a couple cards I would recommend in cutting, as because they haven't either gotten a reprint or they're just decently expensive. One of them is being SP Little Knight. Because it's such a beneficial card in the meta right now, you can supply another Verdant or a Bladefly to help you get through extra boards. Bladefly gives you an additional 500 or more attack. I can't remember the exact amount, but basically it boosts all your wind monsters. The other cards that I would recommend cutting is Totem Bird and the Saint Azamina package. This gives you full capability of going through and being able to get into a further exceeds package, or you can incorporate synchros into your capable boards by using either Wind Witches or other capable monsters to further break your opponent's board. Since you are able to make a lot of rank 3s, I would look into Bamboozler, the rank 3 that basically you can attach onto a number monster for its extra materials. That card can help out greatly in a pinch for number monsters. The other things I would recommend for the deck overall is you can use better Super Volley targets or anything like that. This deck can be basically retrofitted for anything that you really want to, even if you're wanting to run Pots of Extravagance or Prosperities, to really just minimize on the amount of issues you're going to incorporate, or if you don't have access to the Croceas. Once again, like I said, all my deck builds are very easy to be modified, and you can feel free to modify them however you see fit to best fit your playstyle. The one other thing that I will mention before I end the video here is that while this deck has full capability of setting up decent boards, the engine that most people are playing are 3 Swen, 2 or 3 Eldon, along with 2 or 3 Radiant Typhoon Vision, giving you the full capability of being able to really incorporate and work with these monsters. While these can function as extenders, they don't lock you into wind monsters, and they give you the full capability of searching one another. Eldon can search Swen, Swen can search Radiant Typhoon Visions give you an extra draw. The other capabilities that you can utilize here are if these are in hand or they are dead technically. Radiant Typhoon Visions allows you to basically discard one of these and draw 2. This little bit here is not that expensive. I think the most expensive card is Swen. He might be, last time I checked, he was about $10. He might have gone down, he might have gone up. So do not quote me on this, but this is a decent engine as well if you're looking to really incorporate Radiant Typhoon into another deck. It'll give you further access into card draws, summoning, extra materials, etc. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.